Okay, welcome to our follow along workout. We have Irena here today. Hi Irena. We're going to get started with a warm up. So we're going to start with boxer shuffle. So with the boxer shuffle, it's really just getting your body warm, shuffling from left to right, putting a bit of blood into the legs and the body. So you can kind of just get loose with this. So you don't want to be too tense. Just keep your shoulders nice and loose. You can throw out some jabs if you want as well. It's just about warming up the body. The key with your warm-ups is you don't want to get too far of a range of motion. You just want to do little short bursts. So now we're switching into a leg shuffle with punches up. So just following along, copying what Irena's doing there. We're going for another 20 seconds. We've got 30 seconds on each exercise. We've got a forward lunge coming up in about 8 seconds, so try and keep up with Irena. She's got a good pace going to get the body nice and warm for this workout. Do you want to just do a side-on view there for us, Irena, just so that we can see how that front knee doesn't go over the toes? That's really important because you'll get a bit of knee pain if that knee goes too far forward. So it's about dropping the rear knee down rather than trying to get the front knee too far forward. Okay, moving along, we got a mountain climber reach. So just getting those knees up nice and high. If you're a bit lazy on the knee raise in this movement, you will find that you're not going to get the benefit out of the exercise. So try and keep those knees up nice and high. The object here is to get you puffed out. It is to get your body warm. So let's push it. Let's make the most of it. We've got 5 more seconds, then we're moving into squats with a lunge. So we're doing 3 squats. So follow along here. And then we're going to switch to the left and go into a lunge. So it's kind of like a pulsing movement. Then we're going to go back to the center for 3, and then we're going to go over to the right hand side for 3, and then back to the center to repeat. So try and get your bum down to knee level if you can. We've got 6 more seconds, getting out as many as you can. And next we're going into 4 standing knees to elbows and 4 star jumps. So hands up near the ears, bringing those elbows to the knees, and then your 4 star jumps. Try to keep up with the same pace as Irena, and this is your warm-up pace. So we're not pushing it too hard, we're not trying to kill you in the start, we're just trying to get you nice and warm. Okay, back to the first exercise, which is boxer shuffle. So we've gone through 6 exercises. That was your first round. We're going to go through those same 6 exercises just one more time, and then we should be really warm and we can move into our next round. About 10 more seconds on this. Loosening up. Next up, we got a leg shuffle, punches up in the air. Can we just get a side on there as well, Irena? Perfect. Driving those hands up. You'll feel your shoulders burn in this one, which is great. You've got about 15 more seconds. Full extension through those elbows. Keeping that consistent pace going. Got about 5 more seconds, then we're moving on to a forward lunge. Again, just making sure that that knee doesn't track too far over the toes. I'd rather you slow down on this one and get it right than try to keep up with Irena and not do it properly, because there's a lot of weight going into that front leg. And if you're not comfortable with that movement or you don't have the balance for it, it's much better to slow it down. Next up, mountain climber reach. Again, getting those knees up. You should be a little bit warmer now compared to the last time around. So the pace should be on par with Irena. Reaching up full extension through the elbows, making sure that you're reaching up as high as you can. It's a ladder climb. Imagine you're literally climbing a ladder. keeping that pace. We got about 5 seconds to go. Then we're moving into our 3 squats, 3 lunges left, 3 lunges right. So notice with this squat here how Irena has her toes pointed out and her knees pointed out. This allows her to get down nice and low. So we want to stay low on these squats and lunges. You'll feel this burn through your quads, through your thighs, which is exactly what we want. You've got about 5 more seconds on this. Then we're moving into our 4 standing knees to elbow and 4 sky jumps. Hands on ears. Bringing the knee all the way up so it touches your elbows. So it's really important to get those knees up. Ten more seconds on this. And then our warm-up is done. We'll have a 30-second rest, and then we'll move on.
Session complete.
Okay, nice work. Grab a quick drink if you need it. How are you feeling, Irena? Warm?
I'm warm.
Starting session.
Okay. So first up, we're doing jump legs out into a squat. Return?
Return.
Okay. So jumping your legs out, jumping your legs up. Now, if they can't do that, Irena, I recommend a step out.
Yeah, so just walk the legs out,
Yeah.
walk them in, and just sit.
Okay. So we're starting in 5 seconds. So can we get a side on of that, Irena?
No impact.
Okay. Perfect. So when you go into your squat return, you just want to hold it there until you feel like you've stabilized yourself. It only needs to be a second. If you can keep up with Irena's pace, then that is ideal. So each exercise goes for 40 seconds for this round. We have 6 exercises and we're going through them twice. So there's no rest in between exercises, so you're going to be working pretty hard. There's about 10 seconds to go on this one. And then we're moving on to our bunny hops. So this is a quite high intense movement, these bunny hops. So a lot of weight through your upper body. So you can see now Irena's doing the alternate version of it, which is just a step across. So you really want to step wide or jump wide so that you're going from the left side of your body to the right side of your body. It's not important to get your feet up too high. It's more about just jumping across your body so that you're getting some distance between the left side to the right side. So you can see there, that's taking its toll on Irena as well. It should be taking its toll on you. Next up, jump up, shallow squat, touch down. So it's basically like a jump squat where you're coming down and you're touching the ground. You want to make sure that your bum comes down when you do that squat rather than bowing. Can you give us like a bowing version, which we don't want to see? Yeah, so you don't want to bow too much because that's just going to make the blood rush to your head. You're going to get dizzy, you're not going to feel good, and you're not going to be working out your legs as much as you want to, which means you're not going to be burning as many calories, which means you're just not going to get the result that you want. So we got about 6 more seconds on this. You should be really feeling it through those quads. Next up, we're doing switch legs, 1, 2, 3, plus lunge left, right. 1, 2, 3 on the switch legs, and then a lunge on the right, and then a lunge on the left. 1, 2, 3, lunge on the right. So you really want to keep up with Irena on this one. She's got a really good pace going. You can see there it's quite challenging to maintain your balance on this exercise, so you really have to focus. Keeping your body aligned, upper body straight up. I think it helps to have your hands on your hips. You can also put your hands out to the side if that helps you with your balance. And it's also beneficial to focus on a point on the wall. Next up, lunge pulses. So with the lunge pulses, you want to make sure that you get that rear knee to come down low, and you also want to make sure that the front knee is not going too far forward, as in over the knee. Can you give us an example of where the knee goes over the, yeah, so if your knee is going really far forward like that, you're going to actually do some damage to your knee there. So you want to focus on you actually, if you look at Irene, she's actually dropping down. She's not going forward or backwards. She's just going straight up and down. So we've got 3 more seconds on that. Then we're going into a burpee plus 2 vertical jumps. So down into the burpee, jumping back up, 1 jump, 2 jump. Down into the burpee, jumping back up, 1 jump, 2 jump. If they can't do that, Irena, stepping out, stepping in, and then you can do a squat or a jump. Yeah. But let's go for the highest intensity possible if you have it in you. Jump out, jump in, jump up twice, going for a nice big vertical jump. This one is tough. We got 8 seconds to go. Hang in there. Try to keep up with Irena. She got a really good pace going at the moment. Okay, back to the first exercise, which is jump legs out with a squat return. So you're halfway there. We're going to go through 6 more exercises, and then we'll have a little break, and then we'll move on to our final round. So this entire workout should take about 24-25 minutes. So step it out, step it in if you're feeling extremely fatigued. I'd rather you do the alternate version that Irene is doing now as opposed to just completely stopping because you're exhausted. So, you know, you really want to pace yourself out, and you can always come back and do this workout more. Okay, so next up we've got bunny hops. So, I mean, this one's a killer. This one's really hard. I'm not judging you if you're going to step across for this one, based on the amount of legs that you've been doing previously. And you can see Irena switches. She'll do some jumps and then she'll recover with the step across. Again, it's an active recovery. We're not just flat out stopping, and we're also not flat out going 100% either. We want to get through the entire workout. You got about 6 more seconds on this one. And then we're moving on to our jump up, shallow squat, touchdown. Jumping up, touching the ground. So notice how the bum comes down. If your bum doesn't come down and you're bowing, then you're really not doing it well. Really make sure that bum comes down, because that is what activates your glutes, gives you that tight, firm butt, and strengthens up and tones up those legs as well. We've got about 12 seconds to go on this one. Then we're moving on to our switch legs for 3, and then into a lunge. Okay, so getting ready for your switch legs, 2, 3, lunge. This is the balance one. 3, lunge. 1, 2, 3, and lunge. Try to keep up with Irena on this one. Doing good, hang in there. Got about 15 seconds. After this, we're going into a lunge pulse. We've got about 6 seconds. Hang in there, I know it's tough. Feeling it?
Yep.
Okay, lunge pulse. So getting a nice distance between the front and back leg.
Use the other leg.
So Irena, can you give us an example of if your feet are too close together, how the knee, you can't really go into a lunge if your legs are too close. So you really want to get a good distance. So Irena's got about a 1 meter, just under a 1 meter distance between the front and back leg there. So we're just sticking to one leg, which is the other leg. In the first time through, you would have done your left leg. Okay, moving on to a burpee with 2 vertical jumps. This is the last exercise for round 1. So we've got a 30-second rest coming up after this. So you can have a little mini recovery, grab a drink, take some breaths, allow the legs to recover. The next round has a lot of exercises that are focusing on your core. So you'll get a bit of time lying on your back, giving those legs a rest. We've got about 10 more seconds on this one. Let's really push it. You do have a rest coming up. Let's make the most of this leg workout. Nice work, Irena. Great job. Okay, so legs are done. giving yourself that recovery. You can tell Irena's already hot and sweaty. You should be too if you're keeping up. So in about 17 seconds, we're going to move on to round 2. Our first exercise is a lying down legs switches. So it's really important to make sure that you don't get any lower back pain for any core exercise that you do. So you can see here, Irena's able to bring her heels down quite close to the ground. I don't expect you to be able to do this if you have any kind of lower back pain or if you feel like your core isn't that strong. So you want to bring your feet up higher to the ceiling, and you're just switching over. As well as that, you can see Irena's got her hands under her hips. That allows you to get a little bit more stability through the lower back, so it takes a bit of the pressure off. If you have a super extremely strong core, you can get away with having your hands out to the side, but I don't recommend it, at least until you're competent in having your hands under your hips and keeping your heels down there. Okay, next up, so we have a vertical crunch. So basically this is kind of like a reverse sit-up almost. So you can use your hands and push off to the ground, and you're raising your hips up, getting your feet closer to the ceiling. You'll feel this more as a lower abdomen exercise. It's really challenging. It doesn't look like a big movement range, but it really does get in there and work the abs in a really different way. So powering through for another 10 seconds, then we're moving into some flutter kicks. Try to keep up with this pace. Okay, so with your flutter kicks, following along with Irena, there's a like a starting point there where the feet meet. So that can be completely up high, or it can, like what she's doing now, what Irena's doing, or it can be down low, closer to the ground if you feel like you have the core strength. And we can pick up the pace as well. This is great for strengthening your core midsection. These types of exercises should really be incorporated with every type of workout routine, because that's real fundamental movements here. So next up, we're having a reaching oblique crunch. So we're crunching up and with your alternate hand touching alternate knee. So you might not be able to completely reach your knee, so it's okay to touch your thigh. But you want to focus on getting that crunch. Another important thing is you can see that Irena's hands are returning back to her, the back of her head, but she's not pulling on her neck. So a lot of the times you see people doing crunches and they're actually using their hands and they're pulling their neck to try and get themselves to crunch, which is really bad. Okay, next up we've got a knee to elbow plank. So this is like a low plank mountain climber. It's okay if your knee doesn't reach your elbow. It's not really about that. It's more about keeping the integrity of your core in the plank position and being able to bring that knee up and maintain that stability. If this is extremely difficult for you, then just hold a plank and just focusing on squeezing your core so that your back isn't taking the load, but your core is taking the load. Okay, next up, side plank hip drop. So we're going to start off with the hardest sort of version, which is up on the toes. So you can see how Irena's elbow is in line with her feet, and she's raising her hips up there. So if that's like extremely hard, unachievable for you, you want to drop down onto the knees. So folding the feet back, getting a 90-degree bend in the knees, and driving those hips up just the same way that you're doing there. So we're doing one side for this round, and then when we come through again, we're gonna do the other side. So remember which side you're on at the moment. So this is the 6th exercise. You got about 3 seconds to go. And then we're gonna go back to the first exercise, which is the lying down leg switches. So hands under bum. If you can flatten your spine, particularly your lower spine, that's really what putting your hands under your hips does. It flattens out your lower spine, which protects your back. And switching those legs backward and forward. So let's just power through this round. You've done it once, we're gonna do it again. We've got 15 seconds. 5 seconds, then we're moving into our vertical crunches. So hands stay where they are, feet up, lifting those hips up off the ground.
Controlling the movement.
Very controlled movement here. You can see Irena's not like just allowing her hips to just collapse down onto the ground. She's controlling the movement up and down. So you have to control it up because you've got no choice, but controlling it down is very important. So we've got about 15 more seconds on this, and we're moving on to our flutter kicks. Powering through. 5 more seconds. Okay, flutter kicks coming up. So I know you're feeling it through your core now. It's a real burning sensation. You're really strengthening your core in this workout. You might feel it through your hip flexors as well and through your thighs because we're using our legs as levers. So that's okay. We've got about 15 more seconds on this. Try to keep up with the pace of Irena. You're doing great. We're almost done. We're at about 21 minutes into the workout now, so we've got about 3 or so minutes to go. Okay, so reaching oblique crunch, hands behind ears, making sure that you're not pulling on your head to create any pressure on the neck, and touching the knee on the opposite side from the hand that you're reaching from. Keep that good pace going. Think about your abs when you're doing this exercise. Think about where you're crunching from and what muscles are activating. You might not be able to see your abs, but you have abs. We all do, and they are working right now, as well as your side oblique muscles, which are all the little intricate muscles that are attached to your rib cage. So we've got about 3 more seconds, and then we're going for our knees to elbow planks. Knees to elbow planks first. Yeah. Then we jump into that side plank. So this is the second last exercise of this workout. You're doing good if you've made it this far. This is a tough workout. Let's try and stick with it the whole way through without any rests. You're doing great. Keeping that core nice and tight. Your elbows should be directly under your shoulders. You can see Irena's got the perfect plank position there where her elbows are straight under her shoulders. And lastly, into our side plank hip drops. So we're over onto the other side now. So make sure that you're doing the opposite side to what you did last time through. And powering through, using your left hand to stabilize. If you want to intensify it, you can get that left leg up as well. It's extremely hard. And of course, you also have the knee option as well, if that's where you're at the moment. We've got about 10 more seconds and we're done. Let's power through all the way to the end. It's been a tough workout.
Session complete.
Resting. That was a great workout. Thank you, Irena. So now we're going to go into some cool downs and stretches. You can do this on your own, drink lots of water. Is there anything, Irena, that you would recommend based on these exercises that you think would be ideal to stretch? Maybe the quads?
I'd focus on the legs, so hamstrings.
Hamstring stretch,
Quads.
quad stretch,
Glutes.
glute stretch, anything like that, wherever's tight. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed that workout and have a great day.